Special and she reckless. Baby, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love, best friend, and big family. I'm the storm in your dream, making wet dreams come true. She know she bad, better than bad. She a gunshot that blew my mind. No distance, I come by my side. Everything is green over here. Oh, yeah. Everything you want and think about. Now I got your back all the way. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love, best friend, and big family. Me and you, we can be something we want to. When I see the dream we're chasing true, we don't care for me, yeah, yeah. Luckily we're free to be first class, wedding casually, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love, best friend, and big family. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love, best friend, and big family. Anything that you do, everything that you do, everything that you do now. Oh, no, 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 no. She's special and she reckless. Baby, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love, best friend, and big family. I'm the storm in your dream, making wet dreams come true. She know she bad, better than bad. She a gunshot that blew my mind. No distance, I come by my side. Everything is green over here. Oh, yeah. Everything you want and think about. Now I got your back all the way. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tristan Berks here, the digital storyteller. Let me make sure that everything is going right. Okay, cool. We got the right audio on here. How you guys doing? Big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. I am on here for another live stream Monday, which I love doing. I love jumping on. It's been a really long day, actually. It's been a really, really long day. I had a few things I had to get done today. I had a shoot, which I'm excited to share with you on my next vlog. I've been vlogging a lot. This is my vlog setup right here. Whoops. Let me just switch over here. This is my vlog setup here. I got the 28 millimeter prime lens by Sony. I got my A7 Mark III, and then I got this. What is this one called? The Asden, both mono, so like it's a shotgun and stereo mic, and it's doing me pretty good. I like it. I used to have a Gorilla Pod. I used to have all these other things, and I just said, you know what, fire for that, fire burn for that, because I was just tired of carrying all this stuff for vlogging. I feel like I feel like vlogging should be something that just is easy to do. And once it becomes more difficult or more challenging, then it's like, oh, why are we doing it for? Like, it should be something where I can just pick up, take a couple shots and do that. Excuse me. And yeah, so that being said, I'm just kind of over trying to, trying to have all this vlogging stuff. I just want to get some shots, talk about what I'm doing, and have some fun doing it. That being said, I do want to talk a little bit about what I was doing today. So I was actually shooting. I was a one-man crew today. How many people enjoy one-man crews, like being a one-man crew? I don't really like being a one-man crew anymore. I used to find a lot of pride and a lot of like, excitement in being a one-man crew. I don't like being a one-man crew whatsoever at all anymore. And I actually love having an assistant. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to have an assistant. I literally heard about this opportunity like Saturday, and then by Monday morning, I had to do the shoot, which is fine. You make it work, and the client was really flexible. But I was at the shoot, and I actually was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying to me, so what are you going to shoot with? Because obviously I have the Z cams and I have the Sony A7s that I use quite a bit. And the easy answer, and the answer that would make the most sense, especially for the budget and just for the time and setup time and all this stuff, was the Sony A7 IIIs. But I really, really want to make the most use, or the best use, out of my Z cams. And to be honest with you, as much as I've shot with the Z cam, both the S6 and the M4, I'm still not totally comfortable with the ecosystem. And I was having this conversation actually with the same friend. I was like, I don't know if I want to stay with Zcam or if I want to leave Zcam and I want to go to another ecosystem, like maybe back to Canon with the C70, or if I should go to back to Sony with the FX6. I'm just not sure, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not really a clear, definitive answer, because everybody has pros and cons with every single ecosystem and every single camera, right? And I made a commitment to myself that I would not be buying another camera this year. I wouldn't be upgrading, doing anything like that. Last year I upgraded from my FS5 to the Z cams, and that was great. But I feel like I need to really push myself to use the cameras. And I think what I might do, to be honest with you, is I may just look at trying to shoot this is gonna sound crazy, but shoot vlogs or short vignettes and short stories just with the Z cam. I'm thinking that I may need to do that for the next, the month of April. Just shooting with the Z cam as much as I possibly can, shooting sunsets, shooting sunrises, shooting me, in sequences, shooting interviews, doing all that sort of stuff. Because what I'm realizing is that, I just don't have enough hours under my belt using the Z cam. And I see some of the other amazing things that other creatives are creating with them. There's so many people I could throw out there, but the creativity that's being exhibited with the Zcam is amazing. Actually, I should show you guys the Zcam Facebook group, because there's some amazing guys that are doing some crazy stuff with it. I might do that a little bit later, but yeah. So I was at the shoot, and my friend was asking me, okay, well, are you going to use the Z cam? You can use the A7 Mark threes, and I was like, I'm going to use the A7 Mark. I'm going to use the Z cam, and the reason why is again because I just don't have enough experience with it, and that came at a low risk because again, when you're not super familiar or you're not all the way committed to a particular product or to a particular ecosystem, then it's probably not the time to use it on client work. But I'm comfortable enough to use it on client work. I still brought my at least one of my A7 threes as a backup, but also as just a vlogging camera, a behind the scenes BTS vlogging camera. Which, by the way, I should turn on because I'm supposed to be vlogging about me doing my live stream Mondays as well. So let me just make this adjustment here and adjust that a bit and turn this up a bit. Hopefully it's not too crazy. There we go. And I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there, and maybe I'll leave it up so it's kind of looking up at me. All this noise. Perfect. Sorry. If you're just joining me, I'm trying to set up my vlogging camera as I talk to see if I can get a good shot of me doing this. Anyways, so like I was saying before, so I get there and it's a really beautiful space, but like every studio and loft in all of Toronto and probably all of Canada, it doesn't have an elevator and you got to go upstairs. It's only like, a flight and a half of stairs. It wasn't a lot of stairs, but think about this. I have two Z cams. I have a couple of Cine lenses. I have, V mount batteries. I have a C stand. I have a Godox 150 light. I got, umbrella, diffusion umbrella for the umbrella. I have all these other stuff, these plus two tripods, all this stuff, and you got to lug it up. Luckily, I had, the help of my clients. And I get into the space, and the space is really bright. It's beautiful. It's nice. And I realize, these are the moments that I really cherish and I really value from a business and a client perspective, because the client was like, I got there, and sometimes you get a call time and you're like really hustling. You're like, oh my gosh. And the client was just chill. They were relaxed. They allowed me to set up exactly what I wanted to set up my lighting, set up my cameras, set up the audio, which was really important. And it just flowed. And it really just made me feel really good about the full day because, it wasn't like the most creative shoot, but the fact that the client was cool, it was a beautiful space. And then I was pushing myself and stretching myself to use a tool that I don't normally use, really brought the feelings and the emotions of the day together. So I mean, that's my day in a nutshell. Hopefully you had a great day. I didn't really have anything planned to talk about specifically. Normally I have something to talk about. Tristan always has some sort of sermon or whatever else. I don't have any of that. What I do have, and what I would actually like to talk about, is another thing that my colleague and I spoke about, and it's actually really, really interesting. So my friend O'Shane Howard, he was saying to me how, he asked me a question: would I want to use moving forward, if I only had one lens brand to move forward with, would I want to move forward with Sony or would I want to move forward with Canon? And I took a little bit of a pause, like I did just now, and I said, yeah, Canon. And he's like, yeah, I figured so. And I said, why did you figure so? He's like, well, you're always raving about, X lens. And the lens he was talking about was my Canon 50-1.4. And that is I think it's like a $400 lens, but it's a really nice lens. Like, it's like one of those lenses that's like, it could be $700, but it's like, the L series is like 1100. You can get it sometimes for 900 used, gently used. So that is only 400, and it's really, really good. And I don't know what it is about Canon compression, but the way that Canon puts their elements together in their lenses and how they code it. And I'm really geeking out here, but follow me on this. It gives a cinematic tone and look to it that still keeps the consistency of the image, the sharpness of the image, etc. Just give you an example again. I remember when I was shooting just only with Canons in my ecosystem, I had bought the Canon 50-1.2. I bought the Canon 35-1.4. I bought, what else? The 24-1.4. I bought all of these prime L series lenses, and I was just like, I was blown away at just the way it looked. I don't know what it was. For those of you that are Canon shooters, maybe you can describe that a little bit better. But for me, I feel like Canon just has a certain cinematic quality to their lenses. And the way I kind of categorize it, if you don't understand what I'm saying, is I categorize it in a few different ways. Just give me a second here. I want to make sure. Yeah, I categorize it in a few different ways. So number one is if you are looking for color accuracy, color sharpness, little or no distortion, and fast autofocus, then you're probably going to want to go with Sony. Sony has the best performance. You know, if you're looking for a performance-driven lens, type of lens, then you really want to go with Sony. If you're looking for a lens with character, still with sharpness, but the skin tones pop and they're really rich, and there's a warmness to the image, then you really have to look at you really have to be looking at Canon glass. I mean, I can show you example after example, but I'll show you now. I'm gonna pull up as I'm pulling this up, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. But Canon glass is just magnificent when it comes to bringing out the best skin tones, and it's not even just skin tones, but it's just there's a certain look and certain flavor that Canon has. Even when you mix it with a Sony body, it makes it that much richer and better, and has a certain feel to it. I am just going to go to this live button here. I don't see my live video here. Let me see if I can take it off of. Let me manage my videos here. All right, so give me a second here. I'm just gonna pull up everything that I was talking about from before so it makes more sense. And if you have any questions or comments, just hit it in the comment section below and I will answer that for you. Definitely will answer those questions for you. Let me just go to my studio here because I'm all right. So we're gonna go public on this because it wasn't public before. So I'm gonna publish this. Perfect. So people can see and jump on and be a part of all of this. My apologies. It was not public, so I didn't make it public so that everybody could see and find the stream. So now we're here. There we go. So I'll just start from here. So I'm just gonna jump into some of these photos here just to show you, give you an idea of what I was referring to again. So these are some these shots here. If I go into the photo gallery here, these shots, the compression that you're seeing here is the compression that I actually I actually got from the 50. So I shot this with the 51.4. For those of you that don't know which 51.4 I'm talking about the Canon 50 50 prime series lens, the f1.4. And again, like I was talking to O'Shane about, like there's a certain level of compression that you cannot, you just cannot reproduce with other lenses. Not only just with other lenses, but specifically Canon lenses give you this like really, really great level of compression, and it gives you a certain level of character, cinematic character. It keeps a certain level of detail, sharpness. I'm going to show you another one that might spur up some conversation as well. What we're talking about today is just an open dialogue, open question, open mic dialogue. I was just talking about my day today and some of the things that I was doing. For those of you that are just joining me, my name is Tristan Barracks. I'm the digital storyteller, and I do live stream Mondays every single Monday at 8 o'clock. And for some reason, I goofed up and I put this stream as unlisted. So that's why it wasn't there right at 8 o'clock. But I've been on since 8 o'clock. And we're just talking about lenses. We're talking about some of the things I was doing today, but specifically about lens characteristics. And one of the things I really, really wanted to speak to was the fact that my friend asked me the question of, you know, if I had a choice between picking Canon or Sony lenses in terms of an ecosystem or in terms of lenses to use for the rest of my life, which one would I use? And I said Canon. And we're just looking at some examples of why I love Canon lenses. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't change the body. I would still change the body to whatever I need. But when we're talking about performance and we're talking about a level of, you know, shallow depth of field, sharpness, all of that stuff, you know, it just Canon lenses just hit on a different level. It's hard for me to explain, but the more you look at images, the more that you shoot with different lenses, you can see a certain aesthetic quality that you just cannot get and cannot reproduce with other lenses. This was the 70 to 200 Canon 70 to 200 here. And I'm gonna see if I can go into full screen here. There we go. Perfect. This is the 70 to 200. So I was across the street and I was shooting across to them. Now, obviously, I've done some work to them. I toned it to a certain kind of brown, and I really kind of brought in those warm tones. It was a afternoon or evening shoot, and it just worked out really, really well. I love these shots. I want to show you some more 50 mil shots here. So these are some more that just pop. I love how these pop really, really well. I'm probably just going to play the slideshow so it's easier. So these just pop really, really well. Again, it's very, very sharp. I think it's going backwards. It might be going backwards there. There we go. Yeah. And the thing I love the most is, again, the rendering of the skin, the way that they're right in focus, tact in focus, and then it just falls off and just really is really, really just almost a dream feel. Now, it doesn't look fake. It doesn't fall off and gets blurry to the point where it looks super fake, but it just looks like if you saw them, you know, at the park hugging together, this is kind of the way you would see them, right? Like, this is like capturing a candid moment, but at the same time, the lens is rendering, you know, all of these details in a way which allows you as a photographer and a storyteller to really focus in on telling the story of this couple, but at the same time having the detail in the leaves and still having some of the background detail and all that information kept with the colors. This is another sequence of photos that I really, really liked as well over here. This couple in general is just a cute couple, just a really, really cute couple. There's just a certain cinematic tonality to these images. I love them. You know, they're very cinematic, very cinematic and very sentimental, I should say. Now, the one thing that you always gotta be aware of when it comes to photos and lenses is that, you know, the flare that you get in the 50 or in some of these prime lenses are significant. And if you don't want this to show up, then you have to use the hoods. And I know the hoods are extra things that you don't want to have to carry with you in your bag, in your photography bag, but it's really, really important, because if you don't want that, that flare, and you really want to see them, then you have to have something to cover it. Now, I probably just used my hand at one point, or I just moved the camera left or right, moved my body left or right, and that actually solved a lot of this issue. And it's not even really an issue. It just is what it is. It's just a part of playing with light and really being aware of that. Let me flip back over here. I just want to see. Okay, yeah. If you have any questions or if you have any comments about what we're talking about, then please let me know. I'm just literally sharing some of my insights in terms of some of the images and how I make some of these images and what kind of lenses I use. So these are all pretty much all 50 millimeter lens focal length, and it's the Canon 1.4 50 millimeter 1.4. So this is just a nice shot here. Now there's one particular shot that I did in this area that really, really kind of showcases this lens in a beautiful way. I'm gonna pull that up really, really quickly, because I think that would really speak to. I think this is the one that O'Shane always busses over. I think it's this one here. This is done with the 50. Yeah, this is done with the 50. Now there is some chromatic aberration. So like basically what that is in layman's terms is just when you have an image and basically it starts breaking down because the lens coating is now being seen, and essentially what happens is you see like the blue or the red outline around black areas or around your subject. That's the chromatic aberration or whatever else. But basically this is something that you don't want to happen, which is, let me see if I can zoom in. I don't think I can zoom in, but essentially you want to be able to shoot everybody and make sure that the colors, the blacks are the blacks, the browns are the browns, everything looks right. With these ones here, because I was shooting wide open and because it was so bright, and the amount of work I had to do with it, if you look really closely, you'll see a little purple blue outline, and that's something that is a no-no or should not happen. But when it does, it happens to pretty much any lens, depending on how you're shooting and what light conditions you're in. If that does happen, you can do things in Lightroom and in different photography programs to reduce it. But again, just being aware of it and being aware of the limitations of the lens is really important as well. But anyways, I digress. I was just showing you the reasons why I like my Canon 50 1.4 over anything else. The Canon 50 1.4 is by far my favorite lens to use. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Sharp, clean. He looks clean, right? The background here is just melted off. I mean, like, and the way it compresses the information is the big deal for me. Like, I love how it's kind of dreamy. It's not super blurred out. It's just blurred out enough to allow him to be in focus. And I'm only a few feet from him. That's the other thing, is that the maximum or minimum focal distance doesn't have to be super far. Like sometimes when you're shooting with an 85 mil or a 135 or something like that, you can't be close to your subject, right? With this, I can be close to the subject. There is slight barrel distortion. To be honest with you, a 50 millimeter is not really a portrait lens. You really should be looking at 85 or narrower. So 85 or 100 or 105. Really 105 and higher is really, those are really portrait lenses. But that being said, you can still do your thing with a 50 millimeter and get something that looks really nice and that people will be happy with. Let me see if you have any questions. If you have any question, let me know. If you have wake up yourself. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, this is Tristan, the digital storyteller, and I am here and I'm excited to answer any questions and just share a little bit more about my knowledge with you. I'm only gonna be on here for another 5-10 minutes. I was just jumping on just to say hello, to let you guys know that I appreciate you, and I'm always trying to share my knowledge the best way I know how, which is by teaching, sharing, making mistakes, learning from others, etc., etc. But let me know if you have any questions, any comments. If you're liking what you're seeing here, I am going to jump back into I want to show you guys one other thing, which is on my Facebook. And if I go to, what is it now? Zcam. I want to show you some of the cool work that people are doing on Zcam, on the Zcam group, because they're doing some amazing work, and they really should get bigged up. I'm gonna jump over here, and then let me see if I can go to videos, because there's always somebody sharing like I mean, again, like you literally can go a couple scrolls and you could see some of the dope work that people are doing with the Zcam. So I know you can get really, really amazing images out of the Zcam. I'm still learning how to do that, to be honest with you. I'm still learning, and it's totally my fault, because I'm still just trying to learn as much as I possibly can. If I go to, I mean, this is kind of cool. It's not really my style, but it's cool. It's definitely cool. It has like a really, really cool look to it. Probably like a summer pop video or something like that. People do a lot of great stuff in this group. Let me see if I can find some more stuff. I really want to find you guys some video stuff, because there are some guys that do some amazing video stuff in this group. Anyways, if you want to join it, you can join it. I'm not going to waste your time and try and find the perfect video. One last thing I do want to let you in on, and that is, let me go to my dashboard, or to, where is it now? Let me move this out the way here. We'll go to channel. I just came out with a new video, and I will just, it just came out with a new video here. Where is it? Right here. So this is a new video that I just released. And this video is all about how to use, how to get the best out of LUTs. So for those of you that don't know what a LUT is, LUT stands for lookup table. Now, I obviously created my brown skin LUTs. People have been buying it. People have been liking them, all that sort of stuff. But what I realized was that a lot of people don't know what it is, and they think that LUTs are just magical things. They're things that, you just sprinkle onto your footage and automatically your footage is great. It doesn't matter if your footage was shot poorly, or it doesn't matter if it was shaky. It doesn't matter if it was underlit or poor composition, anything like that. You put a LUT on and it's going to look great. That's not how LUTs work. LUTs are really, the best way to describe a LUT is like a filter. It's a predetermined, preset marker of where colors are supposed to be, where reds are supposed to land, blues, yellows, etc., etc. So what I did in this video is I really tried to break this down so that people could understand, okay, if you use my brown skin LUTs, or if you use another type of LUT for the red camera, or you use a LUT, a butter LUTs, or something else, that this is the approach, or these are some of the approaches that you can use, using contrast, using white balance, using mixing, and all of these other points and these tips to be able to get the most out of any LUT. And that's something that's really important. You have to understand the tool before you just start using it, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to buy something and you don't really understand how to use the tool. So hopefully that helps you out. You can check that out on my channel. Always gonna plug the channel. I don't care. Check out my brown skin LUTs, because they're dope. And if you are a creative of color, or if you're a person that films a lot of people on, a lot of creatives of color that are on screen, then definitely check out the brown skin LUTs. They are, I believe it's $45 for the pack. You get a pack of 10, and they kind of vary subtly in some ways, and then dramatically in other ways, in terms of skin tones and darkening and lightening skin tones, and just making it really pop on camera. Now, obviously, it works with better with color correction, color corrected footage, but not only just that, but footage that is log in log format. It's always going to work better with that than footage that has already baked in color into it. So that's something to just keep in mind. I'm gonna jump back over here. Oh, I see 3 people on here. What's up, man? What's up? Tell me what you guys want to talk about. I got like 5 to 10 more minutes. I want to answer some questions. If you do have any questions, to talk about anything to do with storytelling, anything to do with anything, really. I just want to answer some questions and see how everybody's doing. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you do like the content I'm making or even these live streams, just give me a thumbs up. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? Hey, I love that. I love that. I love that. Listen, I'm gonna jump back into thanks for the info about on the Luts. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I'm about that. I'm about making sure that people are feeling educated and feeling inspired and feeling good. I don't, at least for me, I don't want to necessarily create products that aren't useful for people, and I don't want to leave them out in the cold and in the middle of nowhere trying to figure out how to use tools that I've created. So yeah, when you get the Luts, purchase either my Luts or with some other Luts as well, you'll get a breakdown, at least for me, of like how the best practices and how to use them. So definitely check that out. I am going to be signing off soon, but I do want to say thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all y'all for joining me really, really quickly. I just wanted to make this a real quick one because I am a little tired and I want to get some work done, some other work done, and just have some fun with my family. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful night. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can DM me or you can hit me up on social or email me with any of your questions. All right. Talk to you later. Peace.